correct family member terms. The first cousin is Zara's aunt daughter. The second cousin is Zara's uncle's son. Both are Zara's cousin because they are the children of her aunt and uncle. Look at the school hallway lined up of students and describe their positions using ordinal numbers such as first, second, and third. Then compare three students by using one comparative adjective and one superlative adjective that fit the same. The first student is at the front of the line. The second student is behind the first. The third student is behind the second. Comparison. The second student is taller than the first student. The third student is the tallest of the three. You are meeting your friend's teacher for the first time. Write a short formal introduction of 3 to 4 sentences that includes a polite greeting, your full name, your relationship to your friend, and one polite question to continue the conversation. Good morning, Miss Anderson. My name is Linda. I am Debbie's close friend. It's pleasure to meet you. May I ask, how long have you been teaching at the school? At school, you want to introduce your cousin to 2 classmates. Write a short informal introduction of 4 to 5 lines that gets everyone's attention, introduces the people, gives one family detail about your cousin, and ends with a phrase inviting them to talk. Hey everyone, I want you to meet someone. This is my cousin, Andy. He loves playing basketball and is really friendly. And these are my classmates, Julia and Debbie. Come on, let's all chat. Using the running race picture, describe the runners by writing one comparative sentences and one superlative sentence using their position and suitable adjectives such as fast, slow, young, tall, or strong, and explain how the pictures support your comparison. Sarah is faster than Adi because she is farther ahead in the race. Sarah is the fastest runner because she is at the front line of the race ahead of the others. These comparisons are supported by the runner's position and their apparent height in the picture. A shopkeeper sells 3 boxes of detergent for $2.50 each. A customer pays with $20. Calculate the total cost of the detergent and explain how to find the change the customer should receive. 3 boxes, 3 times $4.50 equals to $13.50. The customer pays $20. Let's subtract $20 by $13.50 equals to $6.50. So therefore, the customer should receive $6.50 in change. A library has 480 books. 22.5% of the books are storybooks. Find the number of storybooks that express this part of the library as fraction in simplest form and as decimal. Explain your reasoning. 22.5% equals to 0.225. 0.225 times 4800 book equals to 108 books. 100 storybooks. The fraction will be 108 over 480. Simplify to 9 over 50. As decimal, 22.5% equals to 0.225. A basket contains 20 apples and 30 orange. Express the number of apples as a percentage of the total fruit, then find the percentage of orange and explain which fruit makes up the larger percentage of the basket. The total fruits will be 20 plus 30 equals to 50 fruits. For apples, 20 divided by 50 times 100. 100 divided by 50, 2 times 20 equals to 40% for apples. For orange, 30 divided by For 3 notebooks, $9 divided by 3 equals to $3 per notebook. For 5 notebooks, $13 divided by 5 equals to $2.60. The 5 notebook offer is cheaper. Percentage cheaper will be um, 3.00 subtract 2.60 divided by 3 times 100. It will be 13.3%. So therefore, the 5 notebook offer is 13.3%. 13.3% per notebook. A bakery has 160 cupcakes. 160 cupcakes. It sells 37.5% of its cupcakes in the morning and 0.35 of the remaining cupcakes in the afternoon. Find how many cupcakes are left at the end of the day. Show your work and explain each conversion you use. 37.5% equals to 0.375 times 160 will be 60 cupcakes sold in the morning. And then 160 subtract 60 will be 100 cupcakes left remaining in the afternoon. In the afternoon, 0.35 times 100 will be 35 cupcakes sold in the afternoon. 100 subtract by 35 equals to 65. Therefore, there are 65 cupcakes left at the end of the day. A student claims that tissues and organs are the same level because both are made of cells. Explain why this claim is incorrect using the hierarchy: cell, tissue, organ, organ system, organism. Give one example that shows how a tissue is different from an organ. A tissue is made of similar cells, while an organ is made of different tissues. For example, a muscle tissue is a tissue, while the heart is an organ. You are tracing how a bite of bread moves through the digestive system. Explain how different organs work together to digest the bread and name at least 2 organs and their different roles. The mouth chews the bread. The stomach breaks it down, and then the small intestine absorbs the nutrients. A classmate says that the skeleton snake's job is movement. Explain why this statement is incomplete by describing at least 3 functions of the human skeleton and giving one example for each function. The skeleton supports, protects, and helps the body move. The vertebrae helps support the body. The skull protects brain, and the femur helps movement. A student bends their elbow to lift a book and then straightens the arms to put it down. Explain how the biceps and triceps work as an antagonistic muscle pair. Include the roles of the biceps, triceps, and tendons during both movement. When bending, the biceps contract and the triceps relax. While straightening, the tricep contracts and the bicep relax. The tendons connect the muscle to the bones. Your friend sprains an ankle while playing soccer. Describe how the ankle joint allows common movement and explain how a pair of muscles can help move the foot in opposite direction during recovery exercise. An ankle is a hinge joint that moves the foot up and down. The sehelai daun, dan seekor cacing diletakkan di meja praktikum. Jelaskan langkah sederhana untuk membedakan mana yang benda mati dan mana makhluk hidup dengan mengacu pada minimal 2 ciri yang dapat kamu amati dalam buku singkat. Amati apakah benda bergerak dan merespon rangsangan. Cacing dapat bergerak dan merespon sentuhan, sedangkan batu tidak. Daun merupakan bagian tumbuhan yang merupakan makhluk hidup. Sebuah biji kacang ditempatkan tanah lembab agar mendapat cahaya matahari. Jelaskan proses yang menunjukkan ciri pertumbuhan dan apa bukti bahwa proses itu bersifat irreversibel. Biji kacang dapat berkecambah dan tumbuh menjadi tanaman. Pertumbuhan bersifat irreversibel karena ukuran tanaman yang bertambah tidak dapat kembali ke ukuran semula. Seorang siswa berlari lalu merasa terengah-engah. Uraikan hubungan antara respirasi dan ekspresi pada kondisi ini dan sebutkan zat sisa utama yang dikeluarkan. Saat berlari, respirasi meningkat untuk menghasilkan lebih banyak energi yang dapat menghasilkan saat berlari respirasi meningkat menghasilkan lebih banyak energi. Karbon dioksida dihasilkan lalu dikeluarkan melalui paru-paru. Air juga dapat dikeluarkan melalui keringat dan juga urin. Seekor cacing dan tanah dipindahkan ke tanah yang lebih kering. Jelaskan respon. Seekor cacing, tanah dipindahkan ke tanah yang lebih kering. Jelaskan respon yang mungkin terjadi dan mengapa hal ini termasuk kemampuan homeostasis atau regulasi lingkungan. Cacing akan bergerak menuju tanah yang lebih lembab agar tidak kehilangan lebih banyak air. Hal ini membantu menjaga keseimbangan hidupnya. Perhatikan pernyataan berikut. Merombak makanan dari bentuk kompleks menjadi sederhana untuk melepaskan energi dan menggunakan oksigen untuk proses ini. Tuliskan nama ciri makhluk hidup yang sesuai dan berikan contohnya pada manusia. Ciri makhluk hidup ini disebut dengan respirasi. Contohnya manusia menggunakan oksigen untuk menghasilkan energi dari makanan dan menghasilkan karbon dioksida. A cell needs energy to carry out its activities. An aerobic respiration provides this energy. Explain how glucose and oxygen are used during aerobic respiration and identify the main products formed. Glucose is broken down in the presence of oxygen during aerobic respiration to release energy. The main products are carbon dioxide and water. A student claims that oxygen is only needed by the lungs, not by individual cells. Refute this claim by explaining where aerobic respiration occurs and why oxygen must reach the cell. This claim is incorrect because the aerobic respiration occurs in cell. The oxygen must reach the cell because it's needed to release energy from glucose. During aerobic respiration, glucose and oxygen enter the process while carbon dioxide and water are formed. Compare the roles of these substances and explain how the released energy supports cell activities. Glucose is broken down in the presence of oxygen to release energy. Carbon dioxide and water are formed as products. The released energy supports cell activities such as movement, growth, and repair. During a sprint, a student feels a burning sensation in the leg muscles because the muscles need energy very quickly. Explain what happens during an aerobic respiration and why it occurs during vigorous exercise. When muscles need energy quickly and cannot get enough oxygen, they use anaerobic respiration. It releases less energy than aerobic respiration and produces lactic acid. Air travels through The students have eaten healthy meals since Monday, but you want to describe the completed action in the past. Change the sentence to the past simple. Include a clear past time marker. The students ate healthy meals on Monday. The past simple ate used because the action happened in the specific finish time in the past. Going to the gym can be described using different tenses depending on the time of the action. Explain the difference between I went to the gym and I have gone to the gym today and give one example sentence for each meaning. I went to the gym means I completed the action. I completed the action in the past. I have gone to the gym today means I went to the gym today and the time period is still continued to the present. For example, I went to the gym yesterday and I have gone to the gym today. The girls normally eat breakfast at 8 a.m. but it is only 7